Hey y'all, so I'm reviewing a new franchise which is Married to Medicine, and hopefully, unlike Hoop Dreams and Heifers, I'm not going to regret it. So Sunday nights got a little bit more interesting, thank God, because Atlanta just ain't cutting it. So now we have Married to Medicine that comes on right after Atlanta. Hopefully the ladies bring it this season. Now, Mariah isn't coming back. Quad is a friend of. We have Lisa Nicole Cloud coming back. And we also have that white lady who was in season 1. I'm not sure of her name. I forgot. I'm sorry. But yep, this is season 8, episode 1. Let's get into the episode. So with a show like Married to Medicine, where the ladies are either married to doctors or doctors themselves, the pandemic is going to be a focal point of the plot. So I understand if, we're going to hear a lot about COVID. We're seeing that the city of Atlanta has shut down temporarily because, they're going crazy now in Atlanta. Of course, we see the Black Lives Matter movement being highlighted. The ladies are not only on the front lines of, the hospital, they're on the front lines of social justice too. It looks like Portia wasn't the only one. So now that they've highlighted what the ladies been doing during the downtime, we now hit July 2020, and this is when they start the episode. Oh, so we're actually in the beginning where we check up on all the wives and see what they're doing. So we had Dr. Simone at her office. We see Contessa working from home. And now we're with Bougie Toya as she's in the car with her kids driving back to her big ass house. So next scene, we're at a COVID testing drive-thru sponsored by Dr. Heavenly's husband, Dr. Damon. And along with them, Dr. Jackie's there, and we have Contessa's husband there too. They're basically giving COVID tests to the community. Now, here's one scene that stood out to me. Now, we have Dr. Heavenly giving this woman random facts about the virus and how it's killing African Americans, even though I was on a promotional Zoom chat sponsored by Bravo where all the ladies were being interviewed by B. Scott. So they were getting a lot of questions about the vaccine. Now, Heavenly said in the room that she said she hasn't taken the vaccine yet because, I'm just trying to wait and see. Now, I'm very surprised by this because your husband's a doctor, most of your friends on the cast are doctors, so I'm not sure why she's so hesitant to take the vaccine. It's kind of shocking, especially her giving facts about the virus to this woman and she's not even willing to take the vaccine herself. So it looks like Dr. Jackie and Dr. Heavenly are besties now. Crazy to see that because when I first started watching Married to Medicine, I love Simone. Now, here's one thing, y'all. If I go from Simone or Dr. Simone or Jackie and Dr. Jackie, forgive me. They Simone and Jackie sometimes, so I'm gonna go back and forth, so don't mind me. Anywho, when I first tuned in to Married to Medicine season 1, I used to love Simone and Jackie's friendship. So it's sad to see that they're on the outs right now. And she's friends with Dr. Heavenly of all people. Like, has she seen the show and how Dr. Heavenly is? Dr. Heavenly is Kenya times 10. And speaking of Heavenly, whoever did some work on Heavenly's body, they did a good job. Sis is almost snatched. She looks good, I gotta admit. And what I appreciate about this show, especially it being titled Married to Medicine and having actual doctors on here, you have doctors wearing the face shield as well as the mask. I know y'all been hearing me complain about it, so I'm glad to see they're doing it. So we see them taking a break, and Dr. Heaven is just saying like how glad she is that they're doing all this and wondering why Simone didn't come. And that's where the husbands make their exit. So now we're left with Jackie and Heavenly, and they're discussing Jackie's relationship with Simone. So we find out Jackie has just not contacted Simone and vice versa. And clearly from producers reminding us from old clips, it looks like Buffy was the reason that there's a rift between Jackie and Simone's friendship. And as you recall, it was a statement that Dr. Jackie said, well, Buffy, you're infertile. And it just went downhill from there last season. So now we're with Dr. Simone, who in my opinion is the true star of Married to Medicine. Simone updates us on her relationship with Jackie from her point of view. She says she just wants to be surrounded by family and close friends. And clearly that does not include Jackie. Wow, her son really grew up. So then they even do a flashback to 2013 when he was like real little. Wow, he's really turned into a fine young man. I still don't want kids though, but That's so nice to see. He's on his way to college too. Generation Z. Damn, I feel so old. We're on commercial break right now, but damn, NBC is really pushing that rock show. Has anybody watched it? Is it worth watching? Because all I've been seeing is commercials for that. It's just something I'm just not interested in. So next scene we're with Toya, and I'm not sure if this is the same scene as the opening, but she's driving through the neighborhood again in this little cart to her house. And she's telling her kid, like, well, yeah, if you be a doctor in the medical field, you can get a big house too. And her smart ass son says, well, you ain't a doctor. She said, I'm not, but your dad a doctor. That was a funny moment. So it looks like they're in a big ass house. So congratulations to Toya and her husband. I'm glad they paid their taxes and they finally in the house that they can afford. Hopefully they won't get put out. Judging from this neighborhood, they look like they are on the outskirts of Atlanta. Like look like they're maybe like 40 minutes outside the city. So Dr. Eugene gets home and is it just me or is this car he's driving really ugly? It's some type of Batmobile looking Jeep that I'm pretty sure was overpriced. I don't know how he drives in that, or how can you drive a family in that? So they're basically just discussing how COVID has basically had Eugene in the hospital like nonstop, and then when he gets home, he's a little tired. And Toya, you know how selfish she is. She's just like, well, I'm gonna need my time too. When you come home, you only at 15%. What about me? What about me? We haven't been on a date. Toya don't care about nobody dying from COVID. She wants her time. She wants her trips. She wants her gifts. Like, I hope Toya is aware that Eugene working affords her the lifestyle that she so desperately loves to live. So we're catching up with Dr. Contessa, and we see that she graduated from the school in Tennessee now, but since COVID, all their time has been monopolized by the virus. And her husband are doctors, and they have 3 kids who I think are basically baby kids. Those kids are so bad, especially the little girl. Especially the little girl. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I can only imagine the little time that they have to themselves. So Contessa's husband lets us know that he invited his niece down along with her girlfriend, and they're the ones helping them out with childcare while they're at work. And that's a big ass fucking house. So, I mean, I'm sure they could have added 3 more people in there if they wanted to. Oof, yeah, too much family stuff. I can fast forward now. So next scene, we are now with Dr. Jackie and her very tall husband. We're being updated on Dr. Jackie, and it seems that they have finally finished the renovations on their house, and it is very nice. I can tell, like, all these ladies have been using their checks to their houses. Seeing these houses, I can see why people sometimes move to Atlanta. I'm sure they all got those homes for really good prices. On the West Coast and in New York, I'm pretty sure these mansions would be in like the tens of millions. Hell, at least they're giving us luxury, unlike some other franchises. Ooh, child, they're talking about their house a lot. I might have to fast forward. So now it's discussing that Heavenly is having a party for her husband, Dr. Damon, and all the ladies are invited, and this is the first time Jackie is going to see Simone face to face in a very long time. And she says she's having a lot of anxiety about it. It's almost like seeing an old boyfriend. Make your scissor snip, snip, snip jokes if you want. This is the main plot of this episode, the tension between Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone. I'm sorry, if you've been friends with somebody for 20 years, you gotta make it work. You can't let something like a show get between y'all. Like, you have to do some down, dirty ass shit for someone to break a friendship of 20 years. So next scene we're with Dr. Heavenly, and she's putting together everything for Damon's 50th birthday party. She is definitely adhering to COVID guidelines, like to the point where she has little mini signs everywhere. And I gotta commend Dr. Heavenly. She has not gotten on my fucking nerves yet. I'm actually pretty surprised. So now we're at Toya's place, and it looks like they're getting a big travel van on the way to Heavenly's house. So with Toya, you have the new chick, Mariah's replacement, her doppelganger. I think her name is Anila. And then we have Dr. Simone and her husband. And of course, Toya has started drinking already. Toya is drinking Patron straight. I can't do tequila straight. I'm sorry. Like, I need a splash of lime juice and a little simple. Sirens? Sirens? What? Okay, well, I mean, it is New York, but hopefully that's the last siren. It's like midnight. I guess even though I'm not in Harlem anymore, I can't escape it. It looks like Toya has some beef with Heavenly because she's throwing major shade. Now, I heard that they were going back and forth on social media, and this was happening at the same time. That's why Toya has this type of energy right now going to Heavenly's place. Simone is letting us know in her confessional that she don't really see it for Dr. Heavenly either. And they give us a little recap of their relationship through last season. I get it. Heavenly is not a good person. That's why I'm really surprised that Jackie is so close to her. But as Simone reminds us that Heavenly's redeeming quality is her husband. And they both like Damon, and that's who they're going for. So in another car, we have Jackie and Contessa on their way to Heavenly's. And of course, the topic of conversation is Simone. Lord, I can't wait till these two see each other face to face. So we have Simone in Toya's van. They're going over her relationship with Jackie too. And she's saying, yeah, most of the reason why their friendship is the way it is because of Heavenly. And she's stayed in the middle between her and Heavenly. She wanted her to pick a side. I mean, your best friend of 20 years, like rocking with a bitch you don't fuck with. I get it. I'd be kind of angry too. But this is the atmosphere y'all on. Y'all on a TV show. You gotta remember that. And then I'm gonna be fair, Simone has to remember about Buffy and how that hurt Jackie too. Toya, she's just being loud and drunk right now. I think we can just fast forward through what she's saying. Oh Lord, so it looks like the common consensus amongst the group is everybody wants them to be friends again. So hopefully they do it. And hopefully they have this done by 3 episodes because I don't want to hear this all season. I really don't. Is Jackie and Simone's friendship the glue that holds all the relationships together? Is it? Just a side note, do y'all notice like with Dr. Jackie, it just feels like she puts on for the cameras just a little bit. Like I feel like she's a little different off camera. Because she can be shady, but she does have this little holier than thou act that she does, you know? Because I know Dr. Jackie's shady. She is. I just feel sometimes that the proper and prim woo-saw, I'm chill Dr. Jackie is not as authentic. Alright, so we are finally at this party, and it looks like everyone is within COVID compliance, wearing the face shields and the masks. Lord, here we go with these useless ass temperature checks. I'm glad Contessa mentioned something that don't mean nothing. Wait a minute, does Heavenly have her whole stomach out? Does she? I can't really tell if that's the fabric or the lighting, but it looks like her whole stomach is out. She better show off that tummy tuck. Hey, I will always give props to good work done. You can't fix that dark soul, but if you could fix everything else out there, go for it. Okay, so upon further review, I think that's a belt. That's just her same skin tone. Now the rest of the ladies, they arrive and Simone and Jackie become face to face. The producers make it seem like Jackie doesn't get up when Simone comes, but she actually does. And they speak and have little light pleasantries. Toya's drunk ass come plowing through and then they kind of just break away. They really have a chemistry of like ex-lovers. They really do. I'm not trying to be funny. They really give like they were like in a relationship or something. Okay, so the husbands are talking, fast forward. So all the ladies get seated in the same area and Toya, she is eating this crab leg so unladylike. But it's Toya, I mean, when she's a drunk mess, she's entertaining. And she knows that. Oh my God, why is she so rude? Like Heavenly hasn't even started yet, Toya, so you at fault here. If she go off on you, it's your fault. So poor Dr. Damon, you want them to at least wear some face masks just to appease him. And Toya might want to watch how she's talking to Dr. Damon with Heavenly there, because Heavenly does not like when her daddy is disrespected. So the conversation starts out as Heavenly saying, Simone, I want to know why I have not heard from you. Because the bitch don't like you. So Simone really doesn't have an answer for Heavenly, but Toya is drunk out of her mind and she's tired of the fake shit right now. She's just calling everything out. I'm really surprised because Heavenly is showing some great restraint right now. I'm really shocked. Like, why does everyone have so much patience for Toya right now? Is this like a secret problem? Heavenly and Simone trying to have a conversation, but Toya keeps interjecting, and then Heavenly's trying to warn her like, yeah, better watch it, you're doing too much, and to kick you out my house. And then Toya's like, well, kick me out, bitch. And Heavenly has not gone off yet. What Heavenly is this? Not only is this strange behavior from everyone putting up with Toya's like belligerent behavior, but the editing too is pretty weird. Alright, well, Toya gets up in a drunken rage and no one is really reacting to it. I'm really perplexed by this scene, but that is where it ends. It ends with the to be continued. So, first episode, I'm always lenient with it. We're getting reintroduced to the wives. Doctors and doctors' wives. So this was okay. It was a great introduction to everyone. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt for the second episode. So I'm going to get started now editing this as well as Real Housewives of Atlanta. Hopefully it'll be out tomorrow, Tuesday, both of them. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all for Basketball Wives. Bye.